morning, ATD family. We are back for another amazing episode of Around the Diamond. We are on the last day of August. We are 1 month away from the postseason. The dog days of summer are behind us. The witching hour is upon us. Who is going to make it to October? And that is the name of the game at this point. We're going to start this day off as we always do. Baseball Bill, how are you doing on this beautiful Saturday?
I am great. I'm in the great state of Arizona where they've had over 100 days in a row of 100 degrees plus. They've set a record. Yesterday was 111 degrees, but I spent it inside Chase Park
There you go.
watching the Dodgers and Diamondbacks play. Um, yeah, it was a good day.
Nice. Love that. Well, Bill, we got two really good topics to talk about this morning.
Really good topics.
Really excited about these topics. So, we've talked a lot about the American League Central. We've talked a lot about the Royals this year. And as we come into the final month of the season, we want to find out, can the Royals pull this off? So let's set
Ooh,
the stage. Let's set the stage, okay? So right now the Royals are 75 and 61. They're 2.5 games back in the AL Central. They are currently the second spot in the wild card behind the Orioles. Bill, looking at who the Royals have left to play this season, and it is not, while it looks like it could be an easy month, it is not going to be an easy month. But just looking at that last month of September and the season for them, will the Orioles win the American League Central?
yes. Yes, they will. And by the way, I called the Royals or the Detroit Tigers this year at the beginning. So here's the Royals took 3 out of 4 from Cleveland this last week. They play Cleveland 3 more games, then they play Minnesota. So if they can pick up a game on them prior to that, they can pick up a game on Cleveland. So Cleveland loses today or tomorrow. Um, and the Royals can beat the Astros. Well, now you're going into a 3 game set, only a game and a half back. The Royals do have kind of a light schedule. First of all, they have 5 days off in the month, which some teams don't have that. Second of all, they play Pittsburgh, they play Detroit, and they play Washington. All
Yep.
teams that are under 500, all teams that are going to be playing their farm systems to try to get people at bats, to try to get people work. Whereas Minnesota, Cleveland, New York um, are not going to be doing that, nor are the Braves going to be doing that because it's going to come down to the end for the Braves. It also, nor will the Giants be doing that. Maybe at that point, the Giants, towards the end, they might if they're eliminated, then yes, they'll bring up prospects and play them. But as of right now, the Giants aren't even eliminated. So I'm looking at Pittsburgh, I'm looking at Detroit, I'm looking at Washington as their series that are must wins. But pay attention to that first week in September for the Royals. It's going to be good.
100%. And looking at these teams, two in division. Um, I'm sorry, in the month of September, you got three in division. You've got the Yankees, the Braves, who are still fighting for their wild card spot, the Giants, who are still fighting for their wild card spot. If there's a team in the month of December that's going to throw the biggest wrench in the gears for the Royals, what's the team that's going to do it?
In this schedule, probably Detroit. Detroit's been
Yeah.
playing really good ball right now. Detroit's been playing really good baseball. And I think for the most part, I don't know that I think Detroit has had a season that they wished would have turned out differently. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that they want to end it on a low note. They've got a lot of young guys, Colt Keith, Spencer Torkelson will be back, Riley Green. You've got some young kids over there that really want to end it
Yeah.
well, go into the offseason and reevaluate and relook at it.
Mm-hmm.
I like this.
Coming, yeah, no, I mean, look, this team has may not have the record of looking like the hottest team in the second half of the season, but I think there is not a shadow of a doubt that when you're looking at a team that's been on fire since the All-Star break, the Royals have been that team. I mean, they have just come together as an organization, as a group of young players, and are just, playing for fun. Like, and I think that's something really that's been helping them propel themselves. So, last question I have for you.
Hmm.
If if as we finish this up and we finish up the season, Cleveland's still holding this number one spot. The Royals are right behind. If the realize there is the possible chance that these two teams could play each other in the wild card round. The
Very
Royals and the
possible.
Guardians could realistically play each other in the wild card round. So the
No,
question I have for you,
no, it would be very hard, real quick. It'd be very hard for them to do that because Cleveland's got the second best record. They're probably going to get a bye unless both teams fall apart. Because remember, the American League West is not awesome.
that's true.
But go ahead.
So
What's your question?
so let's just say they're not so let's just say the Guardians make it and they win the AL Central. They get the first round bye. Royals win it, and then the Royals face the Guardians in the second round,
Okay.
which is a possibility. Who
Mhm.
wins that series, the Guardians or the Royals?
I like the Royals. I like the Royals.
Yeah,
I really do like the Royals. The Guardians have surprised me this season. No shade to Cleveland, but I really like the Royals.
yeah. I think the Royals, being as hot as they are, I say it all the time. I say it as we get closer to every offseason, and I've said it for the last 3 weeks. The hottest team in baseball going into September, October is the team you do not want to play as a team on the cusp. And I
Correct.
think the Royals are right now that team no one wants to play. They just don't. I don't think they've lost. I mean, I haven't done as much detailed research into it, but have the Royals even lost a series since the All Star break?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to research it out, but they've been pretty hot since the All-Star
Like,
break.
I don't think I've seen the Royals lose a series. Like, they've either tied or won almost every series I feel like they've played. Now, I could be wrong. Royals fans, call me out on it if I'm wrong. But, man, if I'm a Royals fan right now, I am just giddy with excitement with what they are doing and just what they have coming in the future. So, but going into our next topic, Bill, do you notice that when we talk topics, we typically talk about the best teams? Do you
Uh,
notice that? Like, all of our topics tend to be about who the best teams are or the best players and all of this stuff. And it got me thinking, we got to show a little bit of love to some of the worst teams in baseball. I felt like it was our duty as on ATD to talk about not just the best, not just the middle, but the worst. So as we look at the worst teams in baseball currently as we sit here today on August 31st, my question to you, Bill, what team in last place currently can have the best bounce back year in 2025?
okay. So before we do that, I just got notice from TopFanRivalry Sports Desk. They let me know in my earpiece that the Royals have lost 3 series since the All-Star break. Believe it or not,
Okay.
you wouldn't have known that, but they were in July. So, yeah. Besides for that, they are like amazing and they're ready to go. Okay, who's bouncing back? It's definitely not the Chicago White Sox. The on this list right here, who bounces back? There are 2 teams I feel like that really are building for the future, and that is the
Okay.
Pirates and the Angels. So the
Okay.
Pirates with Paul Skeens and that young core group that they have are really building for the future. They are not going to be in last place next season. I don't know if they're a playoff team, depending on how well that division plays itself out. but they are
Right.
definitely a team to pay attention to. The Angels have their first 2020 guy in Zach Neto. They've got a lot of
Okay.
young talent over there. What they don't have is they don't have pitching. And so they need to go in the offseason and grab a pitcher or two. The Angels have been bad for the last couple of seasons. So you look at the Angels and you say, uh, okay, how do we need to accomplish this? It's pitching. They're going to
Yeah.
get the offense from the guys, and they need veteran leadership on the field. Mike Trout is amazing, but he played 29 games this season. He struggled last season to keep himself on the field. He's in his 30s. So they need to go out and they need to get a veteran presence. Somebody, just sign somebody. I would love for them to trade and get Vladimir Guerrero, but Junior, but get a veteran presence. Those are my American League and my National League pick. Sam, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
When I look at these, I agree with you on one of your two teams.
Okay.
And the team I agree with you on that I think is going to have the best bounce back year is the team you picked for the National League, and that is the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Okay.
They have done so well over the last 3 to 5 years of drafting right, looking at the right international prospects, looking at the right farm system guys, and have brought up the right guys at the right time. Brian Hayes, Paul Skeens are just two examples of guys they brought up in the last couple of years that were right on the mark for the guys they want to bring up, and at the perfect and opportune time to get them not only the most exposure, but the best possibility of being successful. When I'm looking at the American League, the team that I am actually going to pick that I think is going to have the bounce back is the team you picked wouldn't have a bounce back in 2025. And I'm going to pick the Chicago White Sox. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be a playoff team. I'm not saying they're even going to be first in the division. But that team has a lot of talent. It's got a lot of talent on it. It does. It's got farm. It's got decent pitching. You got reasonable outfielders. I think there's a front office and a skipper. There was a skipper issue there that I think was bringing down the clubhouse and bringing down that stuff. I see the White Sox not competing in the American League Central, but I see them definitely doubling to maybe 1.5 times in their current win-loss record this year to last year. And the reason why I'm saying that is I think the Angels will still be the middle of the road as they've been over the last couple of seasons. I see the Blue Jays losing guys and honestly getting worse going into next season with Vladdy Guerrero Jr.'s contract coming up, Bo Bichette's contract coming up. They really don't have pitching. I don't even know who's in their outfield. I look at the Blue Jays as being the White Sox of 2025. But I see the White Sox having the best bounce back from this year to next year. Because when you look at what the Pirates did, the Pirates stayed competitive the entire season. So when I'm looking at a bounce back, I'm not looking at the team that's going from, the middle of the pack to first place. I'm looking at the team that's currently in last place and is going to shock the baseball world as to where they're going to finish in 2025. That's how I'm projecting it.
Okay.
And when I'm looking at the American League Central, let's just take a quick glimpse of the American League Central. Right now, you got who? You got the Tigers, you got the Royals, you got the Twins, you got the Guardians, and when I'm looking at these teams, I said at the beginning of this season that the American League Central could have been a division that, on all intents and purposes, could have been won with a losing record. When you looked at this, no, at the beginning of the season, not now,
Yeah.
obviously not now, but at the beginning of the season, I made it a point on the predictions podcast, and everyone looked at me and said, "You're nuts." But if you were to take the previous years, if you had taken history and put it into perspective, that division could have been won with a losing record. It easily could have been won with an 80-82 record.
Sam, we think you're
Now it's
crazy
not
anyways.
going to. I mean, I
Sam,
am crazy,
we looked
but
at you like you're crazy because you are just a little bit.
I am.
But I
But
am
yeah,
too.
I think if you're looking at these 6 teams and which team is going to go from last place to be in competition next year, I think it's the 2 teams in the center. I think it's the Pirates and the White Sox.
White
I think the
Sox.
Blue Jays are going to get worse, and I think even if the Angels were to get pitching, I think there's more that the Angels need than just pitching. That's in my opinion. They need a healthy Mike Trout. They need Mike Trout to stay on the field for more than 1/3 of the season's game.
Heck, they'll take him for 1/3 of the season now. That's better than what they've gotten for the last 2 seasons.
I think it's better than what they've probably gotten from for the last 5 seasons. And that is the issue with the Angels, that they are paying Mike Trout a boatload of money to more or less sit on the injury list.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, that's where I look at it. And, this is, again, a topic that Bill and I could talk about all day long, because this is a great, Bill and I like to make sure we're mixing it up a little bit. And this is a topic that you don't hear about that often. So Bill and I could talk about this for a long time. But with the time that we have, we still got to talk about what else is going on in the league. So
Yeah.
let's just take it from the American League. Let's start it off. Yankees right there, about to break 80 wins. I think we can confidently say that the Yankees will not have a losing season this year. They will absolutely be on the plus side of the 81 number. The Orioles, though, are right on their tails. They are still fighting for that first place in the AL Central. In the AL East, moving over to the Central. We just talked about it. The Royals and the Guardians are going to be the fight of the year to watch in the American League. I think that is even more exciting than the Orioles and the Yankees right now, in all honesty. I am more invested in what's going to happen with the Royals than I am with the Orioles. And moving over to the West, while the Astros are still playing great baseball after having a terrible start to the season, do not sleep on the Mariners. They have picked it up into another gear in the last 2 weeks. This team is fighting not only to get that wild card spot, but they still want to overtake the Astros, and they still have the ability to overtake the Astros. So watch this second place battle throughout the entire American League, because this last month of the season is going to be awesome. Bill?
Yankees Orioles are going to be fun. Red Sox, we'll talk about them in a second. Guardians Royals, that's going to be fun. Want to congratulate the White Sox to being the first to 100. It's just in the wrong category, but congratulations, White Sox, for making it there. And pay attention to that Astros Seattle race, because Mariners race, because they still play each other 3 more times this season. And so it's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching and a lot of how that plays itself out.
100%. And looking at the wild card race, Orioles still hold that first spot with a nice commanding lead of 4 games, but the Royals have a 1-game lead and holding that second spot with the Twins right there. But then the Red Sox, 3.5 games out, Mariners 4.5 games out, Tigers 6 games out. Bill, we're a month away from the postseason. How do you see these numbers finalized?
The Red Sox might make a push and actually get into the wild card. Pay attention to the Mariners and Astros. Again, the Astros keep winning, so do the Mariners. They might sneak out. This may change next week. We may be talking about the Mariners ahead of the Red Sox. Who knows? But the Red Sox are playing really
100%.
good baseball too. And as our good friend Jackson, the TopFanRivalry sports or stats guy, told me yesterday the Mariners could potentially be the first team, if they make the playoffs, first team in over 100 years to have the best ERA in the league and have the worst batting average.
Love the stats. Thank you for bringing those to
Yep.
us.
Thank
Bill,
you,
take me
Jackson.
through the National League, though.
Well, before I do that, just want to remind everybody, you need to get to TopFanRivalry.com. You need to click on that locker room button. Boom. Spend your $25. You're going to get a 10% discount if you use the code ATD. This is going to play huge at the end of the show, so that I'm just going to kind of tease it and why you want to be a locker room access member. Besides for getting cool articles every week up, and besides for getting podcast up, there's a lot of fun stuff that's coming down the pipe that you're going to want to be a part of. So don't forget to do that. Now,
100%.
that being said, Phillies are still doing Philly things, although the Braves are not going away. The Braves have said, okay, we've got all these people on the injured list, including our grass in center field, and we're not even worried about it. We're going to make it happen. The Brewers are still running away with this thing, although the Cubs don't want to go away. Little surprising that the Reds and the Pirates are doing what they're doing. I have it on very good authority that the Dodgers will not have a losing season this year. They've got 81 wins. My guess is they're going to win at least one more ball game before the end of the season. That's just
I would put money on that.
Yeah, that's just a hunch. But the Diamondbacks and the Padres are duking it out right now. They're both 5 games back. The Giants are still making noise, and the Giants still have something. Rockies, good luck. When it comes to the wild card race, again, Diamondbacks, Padres, Tide, Braves. My money's on the Mets here. My money's on the Mets to knock out the Padres. So heads up on that. And wouldn't it be fun to watch the Braves and the Mets play in the wild card round in the first round? What do you think about the National League?
We would have to live. We would have to live stream Thomas and Megan's reactions as the games are going on, just so we could,
Absolutely.
That'd be completely entertaining. Looking at the National League, Phillies are running away with the East, but the Braves are saying we are right on your coattails and we are not going to give it away to you just that easily. Brewers, I don't think there's a team in I don't even need to talk about the National League Central, because realistically, I don't see any of them except the Brewers making it. And moving over to the West is a dogfight right now. The National League West is a dogfight for second and third place. Those 3 teams in the top of the bracket are still trying to take Dodgers. And realistically, as you said, Bill, in a week, we could be looking at this and saying a completely different standings in the National League West. Giants not fighting for a division lead position, but they are still fighting for that wild card spot, as Bill had mentioned. Diamondbacks and Padres still currently hold a 2-game lead in the wild card, with the Braves holding even. Mets 3 games back, Cubs 5 games back, and the Giants are 6.5 games back. But the Giants have been playing great baseball as of late. They've been hitting well. They have been pitching good. They've had a couple of little injuries, but nothing that has been a long-term injury, a couple of short stints. So it's going to be interesting for this last month of the season in the National League, just to see how this wild card shakes out.
The one issue, real quick, Sam, the one issue that I'm concerned about with the Giants they're still there, trust me, and they still have a shot. The one thing that I'm concerned about is hopping 3 teams isn't a big deal to me. That's, it can be done. We've seen it happen before. The issue is none of the 3 teams are in your division. And so you can't get them because you're going to play them head to head. You're trying to hop the Cubs, the Braves, and the Mets. And so that's the only drawback that I would say. Again, now, if you're the Giants, don't scoreboard watch. Doesn't matter. If you go 5-5 in the next 10 games, you're screwed. You go 8-2. Okay, now we're making some progress.
100%. You just have to play your game, play your style, and don't let anything else impact how you play. we
100%.
gotta take a look at the stolen base count. So we had a nice little 160 stolen bases in the last week. As
Mhm.
I always ask you, Bill, will we
Yes,
exceed? Will we tie? Or will we miss the mark?
we will. We will. Because I can promise you we're going to get 7 more from Shohei because he wants to be a 50-50 guy. I listen, don't I don't care. He's a professional, yada, yada, yada. I get it. Records, individual records don't matter. But to be the first 50-50 guy ever in the history of the game, you know that he wants that. You would want that. I would want
Well, he's
that.
the first for it. Well, I mean, every stolen base and home run combo he hits from now on, he will be the first to have done it. So let's
Yes,
just keep that in mind. That
100%.
Shohei is not only the first pitcher in 40-40 history, he is the first baseball player in baseball history to be a 40, what is it, 43-43 guy.
Yes, correct.
So just baseball fans of the world out there, keep that in mind. We will not be putting up a slide every week for Shohei Ohtani between now and the end of the season. We will
Against my
not be
chagrin.
we will not be giving him every single accolade he has rightfully earned in a slide every week. You know why? This is not the Shohei Ohtani show. This is Around the Diamond, and we talk
Maybe we
about
should
every
make
team
one of
that's
those
on
up.
baseball.
Make a
You
show
can
about
make
that.
one of those up as a Dodger fan. You and Mikey Bleeds Blue can make the Shohei Ohtani show, and all you can do is talk about Shohei Ohtani all you want. But on this show, we talk about 30 teams in baseball, and that's how we're going to keep it.
30 teams in baseball. There you go. Okay. Yes, we will
But
break this
Ellie
record,
De
though.
La Cruz is at 61 right now. Will Ellie break 70?
Yes. He will not break 80. We were wondering if he'd break 100 earlier on in the season, but he slowed down quite a bit.
Yes. And I agree. I think Shohei will definitely hit 50-50, but I don't see him. There's the possibility of him going past it, but if I'm the Dodgers what looking at the postseason in October and everything like that, let him get to the accolade and then give him some rest. Let him get a little bit of break time. You know,
Yeah.
he's Shohei Ohtani. He deserves it. Looking at the home run count, um, Aaron Judge is just doing Aaron Judge things. I mean, we can't really say anything less than that. But Shohei Ohtani is actually right on his coattails. 43 home runs. I definitely see him hitting 7 more in the next month. But exceeding Aaron Judge, that I don't know. Bill, my question to you is Aaron Judge gonna get cold at any time in the next month to slow down this home run count?
I sure hope so. And it's just for personal reasons. Remember, Big Dave and I have the water challenge where you pour the ice cold bucket of water over your head. Um, the tie is at 58. If he hits less than 58, Dave loses. If he hits more than 58, I lose. So I sure hope so. I hope maybe, his right pinky toe aggravates him from kicking our bullpen door last season and he takes 2 weeks off. And then he comes back. I don't know. I just no. Aaron's probably going to hit 60 home runs again. But he's seen better pitches, and Juan Soto has a lot to do with that. The Yankees need to be really serious about signing Juan Soto if they can afford to play him. Now, the question that you can ask me next is, are we going to break this home run total from next year? And the answer is absolutely not. It's
Oh,
just
I wasn't even gonna ask because there's no way we're hitting 1,300 home runs in a month. It's just not gonna happen. We would
it's not.
literally need to hit 300 home runs a week for the next 4 weeks. 325 home runs technically would be around the approximate number, but yeah. Um, it's still going to be fun to track it though, to see where we stack up, and I'm excited to see where we finish up this season compared to last. So stay
Yep.
tuned,
Stay
Bill.
tuned.
We talk about all these great topics, but we also have to talk about the amazing podcast schedule that you put on
Oh
for
yeah.
us every week at TopFanRivalry.com. So take me through who you got joined in the clubhouse this coming week.
Okay, so I've got Dusty. She's a new welcome to the clubhouse, Dusty. She's a new fan to Top Fan. She is a huge Braves fan. She's been great. Julie is on Tuesday. She's an Orioles fan. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're gonna start putting groups of people together for different teams. We're gonna start with the Reds. We've got three Reds fans committed. We might have a fourth. That's going to be a lively discussion. We got a couple of
The
Rocky,
Rockies.
yeah, the Rocky E's. We've got two fans there, and then on Friday, you're going to be on the show. You're going to give us a Giants recap. So that show should be, I don't know,
15 minutes.
$8 to $9.
Nah, no, don't worry. I'll make sure we go the full 30. I'll make sure to just drill your ear in about the Giants for that amount of time. Yeah, it'll be my absolute pleasure to do it. In the leagues though, a little bit lighter of a week for you this
A
week.
little bit lighter of a week.
Still trying to find that guest to join on Monday. As
Yep.
always, you got Would You Rather on Wednesday and Mets Meg on Friday.
Yep. Yes. And Mets Bank is on Friday. And our guest so far for Wednesday is a gal named Jen. She is a huge Dodger fan. And we're gonna see how this plays out. She's a huge Dodger fan, but she's not a specific, oh, this guy or this guy or this guy. So it's gonna be a fun would you rather day. So that'll be good times.
I like it. I like it. As always, ATD fans, you got to make sure you're checking out TopFanRivalry.com. As Bill mentioned just a little while ago, you want to spend $25 a month just to get all these amazing benefits of being a Top Fan Rivalry member. Not only do you get fan written articles, fan involved podcasts, fan and Top Fan Rivalry design merch, you could actually join the t-shirt club that Bill has put together to get fan merch every month of the year. It is going to be awesome. It is $30 if you're not a Top Fan Rivalry member. It is $25 if you are a Locker Room Access member. $25 a month. If you want to get it even cheaper, go there. Use the code ATD in all capital letters. That'll get you 10% off that access. What are you doing not doing it? And not only that, Bill puts on some of the best exclusive member events I have been lucky enough to be a part of, including something coming up in a couple of months. Bill, want to drop some knowledge on what we got showing up in the next couple of months?
So let's just blow their mind. Let's just not jump there just yet, but let's blow their mind. You ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
We've got a member exclusive virtual event coming up this month of September. Well, tomorrow, September, with a former Olympian, Russell Holmes. He's going to be talking about what it's like to be an Olympian, what it was like to compete at a high level. He played volleyball for Team USA. He was in the 2012 Olympics. That is an absolutely amazing thing. We have a member-only exclusive event, a guys event in October, and then we've got an entire group event in October, including a softball tournament in Houston in September, a softball tournament, a softball showdown, or like a rock and jock style thing in Orange County, and in October, and in November we've got one in Phoenix, Arizona, including, and what Sam was alluding to, we've got FanFest coming up, and we will drop all the knowledge for you about FanFest. You do not want to miss it. There is an actual cap this year of how many people we're going to have. You want to get involved already. We've already got 10% of our cap filled already. So you want to get involved, get your ticket early, get it often, buy a ticket for a friend. We'll see you in Vegas. Sam?
It is going to be a great time. You got to get there. As always, make sure you're checking out TopFanRivalry.com. If you are already a Locker Room Access member for the new articles, the new podcasts, and the new merch that are dropped on the reg. If you haven't signed up for the T-shirt club, make sure you sign up. Make sure you check out those amazing member events. Finally, Bill, do you have any final words for the fans out there?
No, let's do it. Go fight, win.
That's right. And as you always do, Bill, go fight, win. Get out there, enjoy your Labor Day weekend, and we will see you on the field next week. Have a good weekend.